This meeting is being recorded.
All right, now it's official. Good morning, everyone. I am Michael. I will be the admin lead. I'll also be the CLC leadership manager, so I'll be teaching the CLC courses. And I'll stop here and give my TTU colleagues a chance to introduce themselves as well. Kat, why don't you jump in?
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning. My name is Kathleen Cade Grzon, but you can just call me Kat. I am the Student Life Coordinator here at Texas Tech University. So during these fall and spring semesters, I work with international students to help them adjust to American and Texas culture. US academic culture is very, very different than a lot of countries. I also help plan really fun events for them as well, and just familiarize them with the campus and resources. But during the fellowship, I will be your coordinator. So I will be the person you come to if you have questions, concerns, anything like that. I'll also be with you on all of your site tours and be helping you with housing as well. So I really look forward to meeting you. I am from Lubbock, born and raised here. I'm only half American though. I'm half New Zealander as well. And I am really proud of that. So I have a lot of New Zealand things around my office. And while you're here, I'll be doing a cultural performance for my dance school. So if we have time, maybe you can come and join us. So I look forward to meeting you all. And I'm very excited to welcome you to Lubbock and to Texas Tech. And yeah, go Red Raiders. Oh, we do this.
We'll explain this in a minute.
Yeah.
Stephanie, why don't you jump in next?
Hi, I am Stephanie. I am the K-12 coordinator. So I get to help coordinate programs and for 3 teachers here in our K-12 global education department. And I'm going to be helping Michael with the administrative part of it. And I will jump in wherever I'm needed. And I'm actually really excited and I'm looking forward to helping out with the Mandela Project. And I'm pretty much from Lubbock. I grew up in Rawls or Crosby County, so just like 20 minutes away. And so I know pretty much everything about Lubbock County. Trying to see. I really enjoy where I'm at right now. We handle about, what would you say, 22,000 students come in for programs throughout the year. I jumped on board in November and it's been really exciting seeing the teachers do the programs and about different cultures, and the kids just really enjoy everything. And again, I look forward to working with all of y'all and meeting y'all and in person too. So I think that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Espino. I am part of Michael's team, and so I help faculty submit research grants and proposals, specifically if there's an international theme. So I make sure the faculty are submitting every document that is needed for every grant. So it can be a little time consuming, but I will be helping wherever I can. So wherever the team says, we need help, I'll be right there to help y'all. I'll see you every day at the office. You'll be coming here for your events. It's a pleasure seeing you. We're very excited to have you here. And it's like we're going back to normal, like COVID is making sure y'all can come back. So we're very excited. I am from the area. I'm from 45 minutes north of Lubbock. Once you get here, you'll see that 45 minutes. It's a very short drive. And my family is from Mexico. I'm from the United States, but my parents are from Mexico, so I speak Spanish.
Excelente. I know very little Spanish, but Elizabeth is being very patient and she's trying to teach me a few words here and there. She's a very patient teacher. Reagan has the most experience with this program. Reagan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Reagan Raborti. So I work with the Texas Tech team here. Basically what we do, it's our team that puts together the grant to host the fellowship in the Institute, to be an institute for Mandela. So we have had, you all will be our third cohort that we'll have in person. We've hosted total of 4 institutes, 2 in person, 1 virtual, and then you all will be our 4th. So I've been around since our first 2017 group and super excited to be a part of this program. This is truly one of our highlights of our year. I think the cohort of the fellows, it's something incredibly prestigious. Our university is extremely supportive. Our office is extremely supportive, and we are just so excited that you all will be here, be on campus. We'll get to see you for 6 weeks. As Kat mentioned, or actually I think Elizabeth mentioned, you're going to be in our office every day. This team, going with you on site visits, just everything that we do. We can't wait to see you, and we're so excited.
We are incredibly excited. I'm getting a couple of messages just reminding everyone we are recording this. I'll work with Kat to get it onto our YouTube channel later. But this is an opportunity for us to tell you a few quick things, some of which will be coming out in some information we send you, but it's also a chance for you to ask any questions you might have. One of the big things we want to talk about is the weather. We're in Texas. It gets a little warm here. It was about 65 degrees Fahrenheit when we woke up this morning, and it will get up to 103 degrees, which is about 39, 40 degrees Celsius today. So it will get warm. We are actually at 3,200 feet, or a little over 1,000 meters of elevation. So we're actually up on a flat mountain, a plateau. It's called Llano Estacado is the name of it, but it's a very flat mountain. So we're not at sea level. So if you're at sea level, don't be surprised if you're walking around going, why do I feel a little out of breath? It's because you're actually up pretty high. Not in the mountains. It will definitely not feel like the mountains. It feels very flat. But
very flat, no trees. Be prepared.
we have trees, but most other people call them shrubs. They're short. They're dwarf trees.
Yeah, we have trees, but they're not necessarily like native to the area. We've planted them.
We planted them. So one of the big things you'll learn is to dress in layers, lots of thin layers, where if it's cool in the morning, great, or you can peel off a long sleeve shirt or a very light jacket, but you'll find that you will want to dress in layers. Another thing is, in our building, in a lot of buildings in Texas in the summer, we run our air conditioning quite cool. And so you may find that you're walking around outside and you strip off your jacket, and then you get indoors and you're like, whoa, it's 70 degrees in here. And so you'll want to put on a light sweater or a light jacket. That's not unusual. That's pretty common. The other thing that I really want to mention about the weather is drink more water than you think you need to. It is incredibly arid here. It's incredibly dry here. There are some benefits. When the sun goes down, or if you're standing in the shade, it is considerably cooler. Once the sun goes down, it is so pleasant, it starts cooling off rapidly. I mean, we're in a pseudo desert environment. But the downside is it is very easy to get dehydrated. In almost every semester we've hosted, we've had someone who didn't drink enough water, and they had to kind of sit it out for a few hours and just rehydrate. We're going to be providing water bottles to everybody, but we just want to encourage you, seriously, write your name on them, drink more water than you think, drink lots of water. Rest of the TT team, is there anything you want to add on any part of that as far as like the weather?
Yeah, just really take into consideration what Michael said. Bring a light jacket or a windbreaker, something like that. I do have international students who get cold sometimes because of simply the air conditioning in US buildings. It's really, really cold in our buildings. And I have students comment on that all the time. Like, why do y'all keep the buildings so cold? And it's just a cultural thing that we do here. So yeah, don't be surprised when that happens. But definitely dress in layers, like he said. And as far as the area goes, so this is a grassland area. We are on top of the Llano Estacado. All of our water is groundwater, and we have filtered water that is going to taste considerably better. So I would definitely recommend using the machines we have set up around the campus for you to get better tasting water than like the sinks. But yeah, definitely lighter clothes, nothing heavy. You won't need anything like that. In the US, we dress very casually. I'm going to send you all a cultural guide that I've been working on about the way people in the US dress. So some cultures, it's totally normal to dress much more conservative. Here in the US, when you go to the grocery store, don't be surprised if you see somebody wearing very revealing clothes or very little clothes, or even shopping in their pajamas. That's also very normal here. And a lot of times it's just because it's very casual and also it's very hot.
And I would like to add that you will have water bottles that we will give to you, but we also have in our building a fountain that has filtered water. So you'll be able to refill your water bottles throughout the day.
Yes, and that was actually installed just for y'all a few years ago. So
It's a really nice bottle fill station where you don't have to like turn on and try to aim where the loop goes. It's literally it's just put there and it fills straight from the top. I use it every day I'm in the office. It's absolutely fantastic.
yeah, you'll definitely see when you fly in how flat the land is here. It's actually kind of cool. But we have a saying here in West Texas that if your dog runs away, don't worry, because you can see it running for the next 2 days. You can find it easily.
I always heard that we get to watch the weather roll in from New Mexico, which is the next state over. So some other things that we just want to mention. We'll be sending out lots of information. Somebody mentioned earlier that Texans can sometimes talk fast, especially with people you meet, especially with the TTU team. If we're ever going too fast, please don't ever hesitate to go, whoa, can you say that again and maybe slow down just a touch? We will always be happy to repeat ourselves, and we're glad when you remind us to slow down. We very much are. We also recognize that some of us have twangs that you're not used to. We recognize that. So we don't ever mind repeating ourselves and doing what is necessary to make sure that we communicate well. Any questions on that? All right.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. I like that attitude. You know, you will have questions. So in addition to, dressing in layers, something that always comes up is time. We're going to be sending you a pretty jam-packed schedule. It has a lot on it. I just turned in, well, it was our final draft at the time. 20 minutes after I turned it into IREX, I was already making changes to it. But we will send you a schedule that is very jam-packed, has so many wonderful things in it. But something that's important for everyone to understand is if it says a 9 o'clock start time, they really mean 9 o'clock. And at 9:02, as you saw here, they'll already be going. One of the things that we'll do with you on your first day is we'll literally walk with you from your dormitory, from your apartments to our building. So you have a rough idea of how long it takes. And it's really important to kind of make note of that okay, I need this much time to walk to class, to walk to our building. And especially if we're going to a site visit, if we're going to a community service, if we're going if we're going to a site, to a location, it's really, really important to be a few minutes early so that we have time to make sure and count, make sure we're not leaving anybody, etc. So just please make note that it's really important to be on time for events. TTU team, anything to add to that?
Just, I like to add sayings. My favorite saying, and the one I always tell my students, is in the US, we have a saying that if you're on time, you're late. And if you're early, you're on time. We take time very, very seriously here. So yeah, remember that saying. And I will help you guys get everywhere you need to be. So.
Any questions on that?
I have one actually. When you say that we have to work from the apartments to the building where we are going to study, will we stay in the same building to have in all courses, or did we have to check a new building and another place to attend the courses?
That's an excellent question. I would say 95% of your classes and your academic sessions, and it's really not fair to call them classes, it's more accurate to call them academic sessions and presentations. 95% of those will be in our building, the International Cultural Center. It's one building. In fact, you'll be in the same room almost, again, about 95% of the time. And so when you kind of time out that walk, that's that time you got to keep in mind. There's a few things where you'll have a Zoom call, but even some of those, the Zoom call will be in that classroom in 105. And then obviously the site visits and the community service are off-site, but you're primarily going to be going to one building on campus and one room in that building. That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking that.
I'll jump in just for a second. So just to kind of reiterate. So we're part of the Texas Tech campus. Our office, as Michael said, International Cultural Center. We're on the edge of campus. The dorms, the apartments that you're staying is relatively close. So it's a pretty short walk. So you all would be responsible for coming here for the bulk of your sessions will be in our building, as Michael said, but then we will provide transportation should you have to do offsite things or even attend presentations, seminars, other parts of our campus. We will provide transportation as a group. So that is something that we have definitely taken into consideration. Our campus is very, very large. We will walk with you all when you're first here, give you a tour, point out some of the highlights, because of course, on your own time, you're going to want to explore campus and explore the city. So for anything with the Institute, we will help arrange that. We will also give you an allowance for like Uber type things, to where if you want to do things on the weekends, that you have that available. Thank you.
We have a kind of background sound, please.
Nathaniel, can you mute yourself?
I think we have a question. Lesbiana, do you have a question? Your hand is raised.
Thank you so much for a nice introduction. My name is Lisivana. Yeah, Lisivana. So, but you can call me Les because I know it's quite long. So I just, I know that the flight itinerary has not been sent to us, but we're supposed to be there on the 6th or to start the program on the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So I just wanted to know, will we be given time to adjust before we start? For instance, if we arrive maybe on the 6th, will we have a day off and then start on the 8th? Or something like that, because it's I think it's a 6-hour difference. And for us, it's late afternoon. So I just wanted to highlight that and if there's any provision for that. Thank you.
That is a great question, Lesibana. So we don't have your flight itineraries, but we are 100% sure that you'll be arriving late on the 8th. We will actually use a charter bus to pick everyone up, including their luggage. Including if people are late, we will make sure and pick everybody up. No worries there. Again, you'll get in late on the 8th, which is a Wednesday. We will have activities on Thursday and Friday, but they're somewhat lighter. We'll have a campus tour that Kat will be leading Thursday morning, but we don't start until 10 a.m. We intentionally have a very late start on Thursday because we know you're going to be tired. The truth is, we will be tired with you because we'll be up late with you on Wednesday night. In addition, there's one partial academic session on Thursday with Jason Hedrick. It's one of your leadership sessions, but it's really more of an introduction. And then the only other things that we have on Thursday and Friday are orientation sessions. You'll be meeting Ian Latora Friday afternoon, and this will be the first of your debrief sessions, but it will be an opportunity for you to talk about how you're adjusting to the time, how you're adjusting to the schedule. But again, that's a little bit of an introduction. So it's intentionally those 2 days are light in content. Now on Saturday morning, we do have a cultural activity where we'll be going out to some place, exploring and doing some light hiking. But again, that's meant to be sort of a wake you up in the morning and then let you have the afternoon and all day Sunday off. So we're trying to help your bodies adjust by making sure you're up in the morning and then you're resting in the afternoon, but we are trying to keep a lot of the academic content those first 2 days intentionally light. I hope that answers your question. That's a good one. Other questions at this point?
I would like to jump in quickly on that, Les, to give you a little more information. Something too for everyone to consider. We have requirements and guidelines that we have to meet in order to be a host institution. And a big part of those requirements are meeting a certain amount of scheduling. So the first couple of days you're here, I'm sorry, we aren't allowed basically to give you a full day, but we have taken it into consideration that the first couple of days to give you all the rest and keep things light, keep things late, as Michael said. So yes, we've absolutely put that into consideration.
Rosemary.
Thank you, Michael. You have partly responded to the question that I had. I wanted to find out what time the sessions will be starting. And you mentioned that on the first day, it will be at 10 a.m. I wanted to ask, because in the handbook, it's indicated that normally the working hours in the US start from 9 and they end at 5 p.m. So I wanted to know if that translates into our sessions as well.
A good question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For the most part, we start at 9 a.m. Not quite every day. There are a few days where you have that first hour for independent networking, for working on your focus projects. For the most part, we're starting at 9 or at 10 a.m., almost always at 9. When we get off is a little more flexible because sometimes you'll be done at 4:30. Sometimes there's a couple of days where we go late because of what we have to get done, we go to 6:37. So it's a little flexible, but we make sure that we have time every week that is unstructured time for you. But generally, roughly, it is 9 to 5. Good question.
Michael, there's a question in the chat as well from Somalia.
Is the school from campus?
So we're located on the Texas Tech University campus. Our building, Office of International Affairs, is just one of the campus buildings. So yes, we are on campus. We are on an edge of campus. It's a very large campus. You will see a tour. You'll have a tour when you're here. So yes, we're one of the buildings on campus. We're on the edge of campus near our medical center and our museum. And then the residence halls is just kind of across, there's a bridge kind of across the bridge. So we're all part of everything where you're living and doing presentations and classes are on campus.
Our building is roughly, depending on how quickly you walk, is about a 7 to 10 minute walk from Carpenter Wells, depending on, again, how quickly you walk. It's really not far at all. Rosemary, did you have another question, or is your hand just up from your last question?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just up from my last question.
These are great questions, and we really appreciate them. It's one of those times where we have been doing this for a while, and we've been working and thinking about this for a while, and some of the things that are second nature to us aren't second nature to you. And so it's really great when you ask these questions. Looks like we have another couple of questions. Ooh, okay. Okay, somebody took their hand down. Sumeila?
I believe you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Sumeila? We can't hear you. All right, Andrea, do you want to ask a question? Andrea Marofara?
Yes, thank you. It's Uni.
Uni, did you say Uni?
Yeah,
Nice
it's
to
Uni.
meet you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Actually, I would like to ask the question about the focus project worksheet that we have submitted. I didn't have any feedback yet if you did receive the sheet, and if there is something to readjust before the day of 23rd.
So I will touch base with Stephanie, and if I've had a couple submitted to me, most should have been submitted to Stephanie, and we'll touch base and make sure we're letting you know that we received them. We won't have any feedback for you on the content of the worksheet. Our job is to find coaches for you, share your worksheet with the coach, and then the coach will reach out to you once the institute starts. But there will be a lull, a time period where you're not receiving a lot of feedback on that worksheet until we get closer to start time. That's a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you. That's perfect.
And thank you for correcting Uni. I appreciate that. We want to make sure and get your names right. They're part of you. Oluwatosin?
Thank you very much for clarifications you've been given. I actually have two questions. Number one, you haven't told us the meaning of this actually. All right, so the first question, it's about site visit. I could see from some of the documents you shared with us that we're going to the Chamber of Commerce, the City Council, and I think a farmhouse or something. I can't recall the third one now. I would like to know, our site visits, are they limited to these three locations, or will there be some other locations added to it? And can we also come together as a group and probably decide on a location and then hope that you would help us facilitate the visit? That is first question. Would you like to answer that before I go to the second question?
I would love to.
All right.
We have so many site visits for you. It is far more than three. They just said list three. We have, I don't want to show it to you because we're really not supposed to share the schedule yet, but I think we average 2 site visits a week. Yes, we have a lot planned for you. We have community visits, and that's not even including the cultural visits, the things that we're doing just for fun. So we have a lot planned. When you receive the program agenda for us, we even go into detail about what kind of clothing you should wear, whether you should be very comfortable, casual, whether you should be casual for outdoor, business casual, business, and even for a few events, formal. So there will be a few events where you want to be in your formal wear. So we even go into that level of detail. So that answers one part of your question. It is definitely far more than just 3 site visits. It's probably closer to 12 to 14.
Wow.
Yes, we're going to keep you very busy. We have tried to leave some time in the last week with the understanding that when you arrive and we start to get to know you, there's sometimes things that pop up that you find interesting, or you want to add a site visit, or you want to add a networking opportunity. Sometimes we can accommodate those, sometimes we're unable to, but we have intentionally tried to leave a little bit of time there towards the end in week 6 that is just for something extra if the group is wanting to add it, or we may schedule multiple networking events or multiple small networking events for groups of students. But a lot of that we'll have to see after you get here. But we have intentionally, from experience, left some time to try and accommodate those additional requests. So that's
great.
By the way, this means yes, or good, or excellent. Like, good job. And we learned this from an old TV character named the Fonz. So that makes no sense. That's okay. Next question.
All right, so the other question is similar to the first, and it's about community service. And of course, my understanding that is that community service to a large extent is linked to passions of individuals. So I also saw just 3 options or 3 community service in the document share. So I would just like to know if there are other opportunity for us to probably align our community service to some of the things or areas we have passion in.
Again, great question. For the community service events, we have to try and obviously plan in advance and take into account a wide variety of interests and passions. So we do things where you get to interact with the public, where you get to perform a public good. Just some examples are, we'll be going to the South Plains Food Bank. You'll be participating with Meals on Wheels, where you actually get to deliver meals to people who can't leave their homes easily. Those are just a couple of examples. You'll be doing a virtual community service event where you actually have the opportunity to educate younger members of the community who are in a camp about your backgrounds and your country and your culture and your history. And at the same time, there's a little bit of crossover in some of the cultural events. For example, in one of the events, you actually get to go and view a play, a theater performance by a youth actor group. So they're all under 18. So they're going to be putting on a play, but then afterwards, they want to interact with you, get to learn about how you interact with your community. Do you do any type of theater performance? So there's a little bit of crossover in some of the cultural events as well. Again, we try to accommodate all interests as much as possible. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not, but we look forward to your feedback to find out what we could do better next time. Excellent, thank you. All right, Osman, I haven't heard a question from you yet.
Yeah, good morning to you all, and thank you so much for organizing this program, at least for us to network before finally meeting at TTU. But my question is, are we going to be on campus, other TTU students on campus? And how will we get to interact with them and network with them too? That's my question.
Okay, so you will be on campus. You'll be living in campus dorms. You'll be eating a good number of your meals in the campus dining halls, and so you have the opportunity to interact there. We are creating some networking opportunities for you to meet additional alumni, additional students, etc. Plus, during the cultural events, you'll have the opportunity to meet people there as well. Whether it's the July 4th Independence festivities, whether it's the host families where you get to interact in small groups with different hosts from the community and the university. So we have tried to create some opportunities for you to get to meet people throughout the community, including students. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
One of the things I put in the chat, you all will have rec memberships to our recreation center. That'll be a huge opportunity for interaction with students. Kat has put a link if you want to check that out, but that's very, very active center. And so there will be a lot of students during the summer. The majority of our students, of course, are off campus, but we do have summer school. So you'll see students, you'll see classes going on, all of that. Les, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you so much. I think the session has been quite informative. I think something that I missed is the number of campuses you are having and actually the layout and the structure. I was just wondering if you have some centers that are listed within the campus that we are going to. For instance, the Innovation Center, the Ethics Center, the Clinical Trials Center, I think, as well as other centers of health science relevance that are within the campus that we are going to. And also, I've been to Dallas in 2016, so I don't know if I can reach out to the people that I once worked with, and if I can be able to meet them, whether in Dallas, and if some are linked to the health centers within the Texas Tech University, will we be allowed to engage with them prior, or it will be something that will be discussed once we arrive? Thank you.
Excellent question. All very good questions. So Texas Tech system has, I think, 5 or 6 campuses throughout Texas. In Lubbock, there are technically 2 campuses. There's Texas Tech University and Texas Tech University Health and Sciences Center, as Lesibana mentioned. There are multiple centers within Texas Tech campus, and I can tell you that you are visiting several of them. You're visiting Health and Sciences Center. You are visiting the Innovation Hub. You are visiting with somebody from the Ethics Center, but it will be at ICC, but you'll be visiting with one of the administrators of that center. So the answer is yes, you'll be visiting quite a few of those centers. As for Dallas, Dallas is about 5 to 6 hours away. Texas is a very large state. You can drive 13 hours in a straight line and still be in Texas. So you'll have the opportunity to interact virtually, but traveling to one of those cities is going to be a little more difficult. Having said that, in week 5, we actually are taking you to Austin, Texas, Tuesday through Friday. Yes, and you'll actually get to interact. You'll do some networking there. Yes, thank you. It's catchy, isn't it? It just makes you feel good. You'll get to do some networking. You'll get to attend some discussions. You'll get to do some community service. You'll get to have some fun, but you'll be there from Tuesday through Friday. We're coming back on Friday. So you do get to, if you have the opportunity to, if you have some connections in Austin, you can absolutely talk to us to make arrangements, as long as you don't miss some of those key things we have arranged for you. But the idea is your evenings are mostly your own. Now, we hope that you do take advantage of that time to do some networking. And we've specifically set aside some time for you to network with the UT cohort. And they're doing business entrepreneurship. So I hope that answers your question. And again, if you are able to connect with people in other parts of the state or other parts of the country, absolutely interact with them virtually. It will be a little difficult to visit those places just because we're going to keep you pretty busy. Reagan?
Not only that, but with COVID, we have restrictions on our institute. So there are some changes. You will arrive here. As Michael said, we'll have an opportunity to travel to Austin. There's another canyon that's within a couple of hours that we're going to take you for kind of an excursion there. But in terms of traveling on your own time, I know that there's restrictions from IREX. I believe, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's 100-mile radius. Okay, is that correct? Thanks. So you do have those restrictions, but we can help you schedule some things virtually. We can help you do some of that. And then, as Michael said, you will have an opportunity to travel to Austin. So it's exciting.
Just one small question. The focus project worksheets, on the footer below, it's saying Appalachian. Are they the correct forms for Texas Tech, or maybe I have something different? Because I have not yet filled, and I just had that minor comment.
Excellent. The worksheets came directly from IREX, and they specifically asked us to disseminate them out to all the fellows. So that is the correct worksheet. And and again, we'll have more information as we get closer to the Institute, and we'll be providing you each with a coach in your general area that will help guide you in that focus project.
It sounds like the Appalachian State hosts an institute. So it sounds like that's a template they're using for everyone and they didn't remove that, but that is for Texas Tech.
Yep. Nathaniel.
All right, thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. During we had a pre-departure orientation at the embassy, with the embassy, and during the orientation, we're told that we might not be quite familiar with dining in the US, as in the food might be a bit different. So we're encouraged to, pack a little bit of our home meals, or our home food. But I hear you saying we'll be sharing or we'll be eating at the campus dining. I wanted to know if provisions will be made for us to cook in the dorm. Will we be able to prepare our own meals in the dorm as well? Thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful question. So it is really interesting you asked that, because I get to brag on Kat here in a second. So the short answer is yes. You'll be given a debit card that can be used either in the eating places on campus, the dining halls. And Nathaniel, can you mute yourself real quick? Thank you, sir. Or we will be organizing grocery store runs where you can go and buy groceries. You will all be staying in 3 or 4 bedroom apartments that have a shared kitchen between those apartments. I believe we'll be in 8 apartment units. And each one again has 3 or 4 bedrooms, individual private bedrooms in that apartment unit. Each unit has a kitchen and a living area. And just this morning, Kat found the perfect pot, pan, and utensil set, and we will actually be purchasing one for each apartment unit. We've already purchased the plates, cups, bowls, silverware to put into there, and we'll go through the few days before you arrive, and we'll put all of those materials into the apartment for your use. So you can eat out, you can cook, you can mix and match whatever is best for you, for your dietary needs. So we expect that some of you will want to cook. We expect that some of you will want to eat out and do a little bit of both. But Kat has been working really, really hard to make sure and get you all the things you need. So she's going at it like gangbusters, if you've heard the term.
And I will say, if you want to bring some little things from home, I definitely encourage you to do that. It's not uncommon to experience some homesickness while you're away. The US, we have a completely different diet, and you might after a while go, oh, I really miss, the chips from home or a certain tea. And so I always encourage students when they come over to study here, bring, your favorite candy or, a little like tea or just a little something. So whenever you are feeling kind of, I'm really tired of this, Tex-Mex or American delicacies, you can just have a little touch of home, and it makes you feel a little bit more connected with, your country. So just kind of helps overcome that homesickness a little bit. So that's a totally normal feeling to experience while you're here, and I think it might help. So if you want to bring something, definitely bring it. And if you decide you don't want it, you can give it to me, because I like to try international snacks. So. But yeah, definitely bring a little something, but don't worry, we will have everything set up for you while you're here for sure.
Reagan was kind enough to throw a link to the Carpenter Wells website. That's also on the website the CAT is building for you. And when we're told we have finalized, we can share with you publicly. But what it's neat is on there are the layouts, the floor plans for the 3 and 4 bedroom apartments. And so you can kind of look and see you all have a private bedroom, and there's usually 2 bathrooms to share and a kitchen and a living area. And I cannot wait to try new foods. Love it, love it, love it. We are starting to get close to that 11 o'clock hour, and I want to be really considerate of your time. So I don't want to talk too much. Do we have other questions? Okay, I can't wait to try the jollof, if that's how you pronounce it.
That's
I want to try that too.
Yeah.
I do not know what it is.
Jollof rice.
Try that.
Jollof rice, yeah.
So
we're going to be giving you 2 variants.
Yeah, Ghana jollof and Nigeria jollof.
Nice.
Ghana jollof and the rest.
Okay.
So you will have several group meals, and we tried to do a variety of different foods, but we have found that one of the meals that is always very well received by the fellows are the fajita packs, because it comes with some cooked meat, chicken, beef usually, but it also comes with tortillas and beans and rice, and you can kind of mix and match, and some grilled vegetables, and you can kind of put in what your preferences. But that is always really well received, in no small part because they say that they like the Mexican rice. Fajitas are vegetarian friendly, yes. All right, we've got about 10 more minutes. Do you have any other questions? We're going to start sending you more and more and more information. Don't ever be scared to write back. Something I do want to emphasize, if you haven't picked up on it already, the TTU team are very relaxed. I like to think that we're very cool, but my kids tell me I'm not cool. But we have good senses of humor. We're very approachable. If you have problems or questions, don't hesitate to ask, to let us know. So like in the WhatsApp earlier, I was making a joke about somebody was very clearly doing some incredibly important work in transporting a patient in an ambulance. And my response was, excuses, excuses. Clearly I was joking. And hopefully you will learn that we all have pretty good senses of humor, and we can't wait to laugh with you. Uni, you have a question?
Yeah, you pronounced it well. Thank you. It's a kind of very personal question, but I would like to ask because it's because of culture. I would like how sensitive is American about women smoking? because I do smoke. So I just wanted to know if there is some restriction on public smoking, or there is smoking area for smoker. Thank you.
So there are some restrictions on Texas Tech campus. You can't smoke within 50 feet of any building. So you can't smoke within the building, and you have to be 50 feet away from the entrance. On Carpenter Wells, I believe there are specific locations that are designated for smoking, and there are little, we'll point them out to you when you arrive, but they're cylinders with a sort of conical hat on top with a hole in the middle, and those are for cigarette butts. As for men or women smoking, men and women smoke in the United States, and so that's not a concern at all. It's more a matter of making sure you don't smoke too near public spaces. That's the big restriction, especially on Texas Tech campus. Kat, Reagan, Elizabeth, Stephanie, did I miss anything there?
A couple of questions in the chat. Michael, you are the coolest. Not really. Just kidding. I'm the cool. I'm joking. We'll have a lot of fun. We can't wait to see you guys. And then we can vote at the end on who's the coolest. How does that sound? No, I'm kidding. Question about the booster shot. Do we know any more? I know IREX was talking about that, but I don't know. Michael, do you have that information?
I don't have that information because I think IREX is still deciding.
Okay.
I literally got an email yesterday. Time runs together. The days kind of run together. I got an email Tuesday or Wednesday from IREX saying, hey, we're still trying to decide on the COVID policies, including boosters. So right now, I don't know because IREX doesn't know. They're working with the Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs to kind of decide how they want to handle that. But we've gone back and forth to try and answer any questions about availability. We'll be doing some testing while you're here, like before Monday after you arrive, before we go to UT. We, if somebody does test positive, we have, my mind just went blank. We have facilities, we have plans in place for that. We will be, if somebody does test positive, we will actually be able to Zoom call all of the academic sessions so you can still watch along and participate. Somebody asked about laptops. IREX is providing loaner laptops if you are not bringing your own. I don't know how fast or how slow or how heavy or how light they are, but they have said they will have those. So in the unlikely, hopefully, not event that somebody does test positive, you will still be able to participate. So short answer, I don't know, but as soon as I do, we'll be sending out that information.
I'm addressing a question in the chat about, I joined in late, may you clarify travel instructions? Quickly, because of COVID, there are restrictions. You're not allowed to travel more than 100 miles outside of Lubbock. However, we have built in a couple of opportunities for travel as a group, and we will, one of the biggest trip is to Austin. So we will be spending several days in Austin, Texas with the University of Texas cohort.
We go to, as she mentioned, Canyon, Texas is about 120 miles away. And then Austin's about 385 miles away. But that's not considered personal travel, that's institute travel and has already been approved. It'll be a good trip.
We'll take charter buses and go as a group.
It'll be very comfortable travel. Oh, and Lorato, please do not apologize. You have jobs, you have lives. We understand that you're trying to balance things right now. Please do not apologize.
So we still have one thing we need to show you guys.
Oh.
This is what we do here. So go ahead, Michael.
No, actually, I think Reagan, you or Kat are probably better about explaining.
Probably Kat.
Okay, so this is Guns Up. And
Yeah, don't be
again,
alarmed.
but don't be alarmed. Yeah. Okay. There's a reason. It's not violent. And so Texas Tech, you know, we have football, not soccer, but football. And our football team is called the Red Raiders. And our mascot, we actually have two. We have the Masked Rider, which is either a woman or a man, depends on who gets chosen. But they're wearing like a mask and they have a cape on and they ride a horse through the stadium. It's super cool. And then we also have Raider Red, and he kind of looks like a cowboy with a big red mustache. And he's got his little guns, you know, because he's a cowboy. Yeah, he looks like Yosemite Sam, if you're familiar with Yosemite Sam. But, you know, so it's guns up, go Red Raiders. But the reason we point the guns out is because you never point guns at people, because that's not okay. So you point the guns away and you go, yeah, go Red Raiders. So whenever you're at a sporting event or you see somebody else wearing a Texas Tech t-shirt, or pretty much anything related to Texas Tech, you can do guns up. And that's just a sign of like supporting the university, supporting the sports team, supporting really anything to do with Texas Tech. So it's a school spirit thing. So we always do guns up. Pretty much in every picture you take while you're here, you're probably going to be asked to do that. So yeah, so we do guns up. So it's always pointed out, not towards anyone, never ever, because if you're at an like for example, if you're at an airport, this is what my boss and I always say. If you're at an airport and you see someone wearing a Red Raider t-shirt and you want to go, hey, Red Raiders, you don't want to go Red Raiders, you know, at an airport. You're going to get arrested real quick. So Red Raiders.
And when you're around campus, you'll hear people saying, hey, get your guns up.
Get your guns up. And then when we do our school song in our, like at graduation or during special events, or we do our fight song during sporting events, we always have our guns up. And that's part of the song. There's a certain way, and I'm sure we'll teach you when you're here, there's a certain way that we point our guns. And yeah, so it's Texas, Cowboys, you know. But yeah, we say Recum. Why do we say Recum, Reagan? I don't even know.
I think we're trying to move away from guns up, so we say Recum Tech.
Recum Tech.
Recum Tech. Yeah. So you'll see t-shirts and things like stuff that you'll buy to take home. They'll say Recum Tech. It's just our school spirit. So you'll learn Recum Tech.
Yeah, Recum. So yeah, it's just a school spirit thing. So
yeah,
that's totally normal.
So when we're with the University of Texas cohort, we have to show them that we're the best cohort, we're the Recum Tech, so that's where that'll come in place. Yes, that's the other thing. You need to learn the word y'all.
Y'all.
Very important.
It means
y'all.
to all, it means all y'all, kind of everything, it's y'all. So you'll hear y'all a lot.
And what's funny is most people who come here, they start using it, they can't stop because they're like, it's so useful. It means you all, but
why would you say you guys?
Yeah.
Hey, would you guys? That's so many words. Yeah. Y'all.
Y'all.
So much easier.
So you say, hey, y'all. Well, we are out of time, I think. I don't know if we have any final questions, but we'll sign off. But we look forward to y'all coming soon.
I'm sorry if I scared y'all. I feel bad about the guns up. Your hands went down so quick. I'm sorry.
Yes, Uni, last question.
It's not a question. I just would like to share. There was a Texan guy at the U.S. Embassy in Madagascar. He gave me that book, How to Speak Texan in 13 Minutes.
Oh my God.
We just ordered that book from my friend from India.
So I've just read a couple of pages, but I say to myself that it will be crazy. Actually, I didn't speak English very well, but learning for Texan is absolutely something else.
It's different. I'm not gonna lie. It's different.
That is so funny. I love that.
But you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. That's right. Get your guns up.
Recom Tech. Les,
Tech.
Les, did you have a final question? Guess not.
Okay.
Okay.
No more questions.
We're so excited. We can't wait.